This is lesson 1002 in the Causes of World War I. And so our essential question is, what caused World War I? Lots of underlying causes, lots of major megatrends were going on in the 19th century that led to World War I, which we will explore. And we've got a history quote. It's by H.G. Wells. He was a very famous writer. He wrote things like War of the Worlds and The Time Machine. And he said, history is a race between education and catastrophe. It is. It's a race between education and ignorance. Education is basically just one generation ahead of complete social meltdown. So from 1914 to 1918, World War I erupted in Europe. But we've got a map here which shows just how global it was. That's why we call it World War I. The Great War, as it was called at the time, was the largest, most destructive war that the world had ever seen. World War I was a global war that altered the course of the 20th century. What caused World War I? From 1870 to 1914, that's several decades, a number of developments gradually increased tensions among European powers that led to the outbreak of World War I. You can break these major trends down to the acronym m.a.i.n. And what we've got is militarism, alliances, imperialism, and nationalism. These are the main causes of World War I. They're certainly not the only causes, but these are the big, broad causes. Let's start with militarism. Remember, we had an industrial revolution that led to large, advanced militaries in Europe. Europeans believed that to be great, nations had to have strong militaries. And as a result, an arms race began among European nations, especially between Britain and Germany. Governments glorified military power, and they kept an army prepared for war. That's the nature of militarism. Having a strong army increased patriotism among the citizens. And then we have imperialism. We just got done studying imperialism. European nations, as we know, competed fiercely with each other for colonies in Africa and Asia. Competition for these colonies often pushed Europeans to the brink of war with each other. And such diplomatic crises increased European rivalry and mistrust of each other back in Europe. Germany and France almost went to war twice over Morocco. England and France argued severely over the rights to the country of Sudan. Germany, England, and Russia argued over building a railroad in India. Then we have alliances. Growing rivalries among nations led to the formation of two main military alliances that threatened to draw all European nations into war. Germany, Italy, and Austria-Hungary made up the Triple Alliance. England, France, and Russia formed the Triple Entente. Being part of a military alliance can be great because it can protect your country from being attacked. But it can also be a disaster for you because it can pull your country like a vortex into a war that you didn't start. Then we have nationalism. There's a lot to it. I like to think of 5 levels of nationalism listed in order of intensity. For example, number 1, the lowest level of intensity of nationalist feeling is this. It's the belief that your ethnic group should have its own sovereign, homogeneous nation state, its own government, unified by a people that have the same language, the same culture, the same dress, the same point of view. But that can rise often to level number 2. Often it rises to the belief that your own nation's interests should come before those of any other nation. Germany first, or one we've heard a lot in the last 4 years, America first. That can rise up to the level number 3. How about this? Love of one's own. And love of one's own means basically having little to no regard for people who are not your own. That can lead to number 4. It can extend to the belief that your nation is superior to other nations. Not just that it should come first, but that it is superior to other nations. All of these ideas can be impregnated with the violent racialist and social Darwinist assumptions that we talked about in the last unit. And then finally, level number 5 is the narrative that your superior, more deserving, more entitled nation has been the victim of lesser, inferior nations, and you owe them some payback. Let's look at one cultural group. Let's look at Europe's Slavic peoples. The Slavs were a large, multi-ethnic group of people. They lived in Eastern and Central Europe as well as the Balkan Peninsula. Slavic peoples were connected by similar languages, histories, and cultures. And the Balkan Peninsula had been a hotbed of nationalist feelings among various Slavic peoples for many decades leading up to World War I. The Kingdom of Serbia was an independent Slavic country just southeast of Austria-Hungary. But many other Slavic peoples lived under Austro-Hungarian rule. Austria-Hungary was a hodgepodge empire comprised of many different ethnic groups, as we've already learned, including many Slavs and ethnic Serbs. And the Kingdom of Serbia believed that it had a national mission to unite the Balkans under one Slavic nation. Serbia did not like Austria-Hungary ruling Slavs, especially ruling over ethnic Serbs. And many ethnic Serbs lived in the territory of Bosnia-Herzegovina, which Austria-Hungary had recently annexed as a move to limit Serb expansion towards the Adriatic Sea. Russia and Austria-Hungary were also rival European powers competing for influence over these various Slavic peoples of the Balkans. Austria-Hungary ruled over lots of Slavic peoples, as we just said. And Austria-Hungary viewed the country of Serbia as a major nuisance and as a threat to their own fragile political stability in the Balkans. And Austria-Hungary was eager for a showdown with Serbia where they would settle things once and for all. Russia also wanted influence in the Balkans. Russia itself was a powerful Slavic empire. They wanted access to the Mediterranean Sea through the Balkans, and they wanted to use the Balkans to get a strategic advantage over the Ottomans. Russia saw itself as the protector of all Slavic peoples Europe-wide, and Russia was a close ally of Serbia. Back to nationalism here. Rivalries due to militarism and imperialism increased nationalism among all European powers. European rivals struggled to maintain a balance of power while also trying to overpower each other. While nationalism was unifying people in the powerful nations such as Great Britain, France, Germany, Italy, it was also dividing people in weakening empires like Austria-Hungary, the Ottoman Empire, Russia. No region was more tense in the years before World War I than the Balkans, which we've just been talking about, and you can see them depicted on this map right here. Serbia, Greece, Albania, Bulgaria, and Romania, all countries that existed in the Balkans, broke from the Ottoman Empire to create new nations. Slavic people in Serbia wanted to unite all Slavs, but Austria-Hungary opposed giving up the largely Slavic territories of Bosnia and Herzegovina, which you can see in the orange right here on that inset. Serbians vowed to take Bosnia-Herzegovina from Austria-Hungary. On June 28, 1914, the Austro-Hungarian Archduke Franz Ferdinand, nephew of the Austrian emperor and heir to the throne, and his wife Sophie were both assassinated by a Serbian nationalist group. The assassin was Gavrilo Princip. On July 23rd, just a few days later, Austria-Hungary issued an ultimatum to Serbia with about 10 terms in it. Turn over the conspirators and allow an investigation, or go to war. Serbia agreed to all but one of these terms. So, Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia on July 28, 1914. Russia, an inherently Slavic nation, had a large population of Slavs and was an ally of Serbia, so Russia moved troops to the Austrian border. These events set off a chain reaction that started World War I. On July 28, 1914, Serbia declined Austria-Hungary's ultimatum. Russia mobilized for war to protect Serbia from Austria-Hungary. Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia and its ally, Russia. On August 1, 1914, Germany declared war on Russia to help its closest ally, Austria-Hungary. On August 3, 1914, Germany declared war on Russia's close ally, France, in order to avoid a two-front war between France and Russia. On August 4, 1914, England declared war on Germany and Austria-Hungary to protect its ally, France. Italy backed out of its agreement with Germany and Austria-Hungary and joined the Allies. World War I had begun. During the war, Germany and Austria-Hungary became the Central Powers. They were joined by Bulgaria and the Ottoman Empire. The members of the Triple Entente became known as the Allied Powers, and they were joined by Italy, and eventually many nations throughout the world, including the United States in 1917.